It's no secret that I am a cartoon fanatic, but I am also a Walt Disney aficionado. Seriously, I've read every book ever published about him, I've seen every documentary, I even go to Disneyland at least once a week. I don't want to brag or anything, but I probably know everything there is to know about Walter Elias Disney. So it's not unknown that this American legend has a pretty long list of crazy conspiracies about him. Like the whereabouts of his maybe frozen body parts and his ties to, like, say, the Illuminati. But this particular conspiracy we're going to cover today actually took me by surprise. Could Walt Disney actually be an FBI informant? Okay, Walt Disney, a secret agent for a government organization? Can you imagine comparing Walt Disney to, say, James Bond or even Burt Macklin? Well, this conspiracy proposes that Walt Disney was collecting information and reporting it back to the FBI. And the information could be about any of the famous and powerful people Disney was on good terms with all over the world. But how could Walt Disney, the pioneer of American animation, a man who preached in believing in your dreams, how could he be secretly spying for the FBI? Well, in 1994, Mark Elliott published a book called Walt Disney, Hollywood's Dark Prince. It explored the darker side of this esteemed creator and made some pretty wild accusations. But one point in particular Elliott made caught a good deal of attention. It is, of course, the theory we are currently exploring. The author declared that from 1940 to his death in 1966, Walt Disney worked alongside the FBI as a secret informer. And believe it or not, there are actually FBI documents to back this up. Some of these documents can be found on the FBI website under his full name, Walter Elias Disney. There are over 570 pages, but the majority of them have been redacted, which of course Elliott claims to be suspicious. He believes that the Disney family, along with the FBI, could be hiding something from us. Of the pages that are still left, we've learned that Walt volunteered his park, Disneyland, for the FBI to use however they find necessary, and that relationship was mutually beneficial. And there is also a proposal for the FBI to provide their offices to Disney to shoot portions of the Mickey Mouse Club. Now remember, this was post-World War II in the US, so one of the major activities of the FBI was combating communist threats. It's actually well documented that Walt Disney was staunchly against communism and did whatever he could to oppose it. Around this time, the Second Red Scare was in its peak, and Senator Joseph McCarthy had instilled a fear of communists hiding amongst us and encouraged people to turn in those they were suspicious of. This fear created the Hollywood blacklist. Many creative professionals were forced out of Hollywood because of their political beliefs or rumors about their political leanings. It is known that at this time, Walt Disney did actually assist the FBI in its investigations with communist threats in Hollywood. In October 1947, Disney did testify in front of the House Un-American Activities Committee, a committee that investigated alleged instances of communism in the United States, after the Hollywood Reporter released a list of communist sympathizers in the film industry. Celebrities like Walt Disney and Ronald Reagan opened up the hearing by saying that the communist threat in Hollywood was a big one. Disney specifically testified about the employee strike at the animation studio after his resistance to join a union, which at the time was considered to be a red flag. So, was Walt Disney really an FBI informant? With so many of the official FBI documents redacted, it really brings up a lot of questions about this conspiracy. Mark Elliott's book does take a strong negative bias towards Walt Disney and makes some pretty extreme accusations, like that Walt Disney's body was actually cryogenically frozen. Oh, and that Walt was actually born in 1890 to a peasant woman in Spain. In fact, after the book's release, Walt's family made an official statement that denied the claims Elliott made in his book. They acknowledged that Walt was designated as a contact for the FBI, but his late wife Lillian Disney went on to say, "There's no evidence in the records that would even support or tend to suggest that Mr. Disney even knew of this designation." Along with this, former director of the FBI, William H. Webster, went on to say, "Such records do not support the assertion by Elliott that Walt Disney was an informant for the FBI." And according to the documents still available on the FBI website, the FBI denied every single proposal Walt gave them to film the Mickey Mouse Club at the FBI headquarters. As for his strong anti-communism, we have to understand that post-World War II was a very different time in America. People really thought that Russian communists might drop nuclear bombs on us at any second. So the threat of communist spies in America was perceived as very real. Everybody was spying on everybody. Paranoia was very high, and the influence of McCarthyism was so strong that neighbors were spying on neighbors and wives were telling on husbands. Walt Disney was probably just doing his best to do what seemed to be the most patriotic thing at that time. I think it could be possible that he, like so many people in America at that time, was acting almost like an informant just out of patriotism for our country. Walt Disney is still a beloved figure all around the world, but he's definitely not flawless. It's possible that he signed up with the FBI to inform, but never actually did anything. So while he may not have been perfect, Walt Disney has still made an enormous impact on the world with his innovations. Not necessarily his supposed secret spying for the government. It's a little hard to give this conspiracy a rating because it's a little true, but a little not true. But since it's the spirit of the show, I guess I'm gonna have to give the Walt Disney FBI informant conspiracy 2.5 cryogenically frozen Walt Disney heads out of 5. It's halfway. Seems fair. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Cartoon Conspiracy. In the comments, let me know what you thought of this conspiracy and if you agree or disagree with my debunking. If you guys have any conspiracies you'd like us to cover, you can email us right here. If we like it enough, maybe we'll feature it in a video. Make sure you guys join the channel Frederator Network and check out a preview for next week's episode. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week.